Teh Tarik Hour. As always, it's me, Azreen, along with, and we're back for another episode of Teh Tarik Talk, nonsense talk, all that kind of stuff lah.
Yes.
The past few episodes quite heavy lah. I think today we're going to talk something more lighter, more sparked my interest recently because something I've been watching on Netflix recently.
Like this is more like our daily life and watching
Sharing our thoughts and experience.
Because we are watch Azreen got one TV series drama.
I suddenly got into the drama thing, but it's a Singaporean show called Emerald Hill. It's about the Nyonya in Singapore that time lah, during the 40s, 30s, 50s era that time lah. Of course, it's like normal drama lah. A lot of very crazy storyline people cheating and then killing murder and all this got crazy story there lah. But what interests me first in that show is that it's about the Nyonya culture there. I've always been fascinated by Nyonya culture, specifically in our country, in Malaysia, how Nyonya culture is, and how I know a little but also don't know as much as I thought lah. So today is just us sharing our thoughts and my review of the show actually. But for you Kit the Nyonya culture actually, what do you know about Nyonya culture?
I from school actually is mostly is from school. What I know is Peranakan is the guys from China or Cheng He to bring a lot of their soldiers to come to Malaysia and then marriage with our Malaysia local people. Then the next generation is called Peranakan, which is the guy is called Baba, then the lady is called Nyonya.
Right.
So besides of that, there were mixtures, the Chinese cultures and the Malay culture together. So you can see some of the buildings of the in Malacca or in Baba Nyonya's, Peranakan's places. It's look like a bit of Chinese, but not look like a Chinese. But something is like a Malay. They are dressed up like a Malay, but it's not a Malay. Like food also, of course.
This is actually the most
the most is the Peranakan, the Baba Nyonya foods. I love the most lah. Like the Nyonya Kuih,
the kuih,
laksa, all that. Actually, is our daily we makan. There is some is from the Baba Nyonya food. We don't know only like Aksam laksa, the kuih. Some like the jendoi or something also is belong to
like Seri Muka. All this kuih is actually a part of the Nyonya.
Yes, it's
culture,
Nyonya kuih.
Culture kuih there. But the name itself, right, Baba Nyonya. The word Baba is China. Wait, is it like do you call fathers in China is or Chinese Baba?
Baba is like Malay also called Papa, what? B-A-P-A. But Baba, I say B-A-B-A is some kind of like in Chinese called Baba. Baba is Mandarin. Yes, it's called Baba also.
But the wording is like B-A-B-A also, is it?
Baba. Yes, some kind of like.
Because Nyonya is specifically Malay or Bahasa. Nyonya is it's like a madam or I don't know. So that name itself already say that typically will be a Chinese
man married a Malay woman.
But nowadays, right, is the other way around considered still a Peranakan thing? If it's a Chinese woman and a Malay man?
Chinese man?
No, Malay woman, Chinese woman and Malay man.
But not for today, we not consider in Baba Nyonya these terms already. Even if you are Malay and Chinese, they get married. The next generation is not considered as Baba Nyonya. The time the marriage, because the Ming dynasties, they have this group of people. They are married. They are so-called they are named their second generation, their offspring. They become as a Baba Nyonya. So this group of people actually from I think it's Singapore, Malacca and Penang. These three places in Semenanjung here is most of the Peranakan.
Singapore, Malacca. Penang. These are like near the Straits area.
Yes.
The sea there.
I think it's this called West Coast. West Coast here.
But in that sense, right, because like the Nyonya culture is from there the Baba Nyonya culture is from there. As of today, right? Is the culture still the Nyonya culture is still quite strong among there? Can people still find their roots back in Nyonya culture?
I think Nyonya culture come to days is quite weak. Can see they are not very like they are, because this is the time, the offspring. After that, how come our Malay and Chinese, if we are get married, our we are not so called the next generation is called they are, can put their in Baba and Nyonya, not consider is Peranakan. I think it's because the culture we also different nowadays.
The
If
thing
let's
is,
say the
right,
fusion
logically lah, I don't know how the continuation here is. Okay, let's say this is a lady, she's from a Nyonya house, okay,
Mm-mm.
household. She marry a Malay guy.
Mm-mm.
Would they still be able to continue the Nyonya culture there?
It's very
Because like
no idea.
marrying outside of the family also, right? Because it's the women marry outside of the family, so it's not considered a Nyonya culture anymore, right?
Actually, you have to treat Peranakan is one of the race. It's not cannot consider they are Chinese or Malay. There is a one of the race. They have the cultures in different
It,
from Chinese and Malay also.
is it a race thing?
I think it's
purely
their
a-
Peranakan is considered as a one race. There's a very small group of people, but we cannot say they are totally is a Chinese because there are some of their culture is
got
more
mixed
got
blood.
mixed. Yes.
But then who continues the culture of the Nyonya then? Like, is it up to the daughter or is it up to the sons?
This one we ask the.
I mean, it's just a question I asked lah. Like for you personally, you think like, cause if it's like Malay, traditionally, right, it's
Mm-mm.
the man who
carry lah.
carry the tradition lah. Because of course, the man is the house, the leader of the house. That means they maintain the culture. Whereas the women, they marry into the other family, they follow the other family culture. What?
But come to the carry for the culture for Chinese, like Chinese also is a man who have carry the culture. If let's say today I'm a man,
But
I married so called one Indian woman, I'm so carrying on with my cultures, and then I'm also if let's say I'm sembayang for the Chinese god, and then I'll go for Chinese god temple, and then go for for the Chinese traditionals lah to pray my what do you call that pray my grandparents or
they
that.
follow your the
Mm,
man line
my
lah. But of
accent.
course, it's because a lot of our culture is very patriarchy. That means we man-driven culture ah.
Mm-mm.
There are certain culture like if for my mother's side, which is like Minangkabau, which is like Indonesian Minangkabau,
Mm-mm.
is very mother-driven or matriarchal side. That means women is the one that continue the culture ah. So if let's say
This one also is applied to the Indians group of people. They are also the lady who are carry
the culture, right? Because
right.
for the Minangkabau people is like when someone marries to the family, usually is the man that leave the family and join the other the women's side and help to protect that one.
Yeah.
Of course, they will split off into their own family lah, in that sense. But like typically, is the men who leave the house to find a new family, and then the women stay to ensure that the culture of their family continues on in that that line lah, the traditional line.
But seriously lah, come to the Peranakan or this movie series or this kind of series movie lah or drama, actually is very like show very truly Malaysian. Actually, it's more semenanjung lah. I include Singapore lah. It's more like here's our cultures.
It's a very showcase of our fusion lah.
Yes, because this one is a mixtures of Chinese and Malay.
This is actually one of the things I noticed during the show there lah. It shows a lot of like the cooking style lah, the food ah. Yeah, of course we first thing is of course we must talk about Nyonya food lah. The kueh, the lau and everything is very unique in the sense that
True.
it's a fusion of, I say like Chinese, a bit Chinese food, but with also Malaysian style or Malay or local kind of like spices, sambals and all this. So the scene that I showed Ah Kit just now previous before we start recording is this one where the lady is like preparing the food in the kitchen. the kitchen to me, it looks very Malay kitchen, you know.
Mm-mm.
It's like, typically if I go to the kitchen in my house, this I see how my grandparents at time would prepare the food on. And then you can imagine the smell of the sambal and everything already. Which is very unique in that sense, no? Having that kind of culture. But again, it comes to the point of like who is like furthering this kind of like or maintaining this kind of culture. Because I don't know about you, I don't see as much Nyonya restaurants as I did before. Or I never really realized how much is a Nyonya restaurant there.
I think got Malaysia Ampang there also got one Nyonya Food is quite good one. Serious.
But let's not say something like Nyonya Colors. That one is like
Peranakan.
or Peranakan. This one.
Yes.
There's a few shops here and there.
Okay, you see because Peranakan's Baba Nyonya, they serve the food. Actually, they will come with some non-halal food. Non-halal.
That's the thing. There's also some pork there lah.
Yes. So that's why Malay will be okay. I'm not because this is non-halal. So only the Chinese group people who are like okay, it's very good food. And because they mix the mixture, the cuisine. Actually, the cuisine is like Malay mixed with the Chinese. Like those Malaysians or the very Malay, but it's like a Chinese style. It's like mixture lah, again, Peranakan style lah. Quite very nice food.
But I'm guessing like the real pure Peranakan or Nyonya food is considered non-halal lah, is it?
Non-halal. Okay. Actually, why I want to question now, why there times Malay and Chinese they can fusion, they can mix together, and because we so-called this called religions.
Religions
yes, they have no put the foot stop on the religion because Chinese and Malay is just a race and then come together.
But okay,
if let's say for both of us, if let's say we don't have any religions, we put together, we all without the religions who are blocking us. So our cultures, if let's say I can do anything. If let's say today you are Malay, I'm Chinese, no religions. Okay, I go to Buddhist, I go to Islam, I go to other.
This is a very dangerous question, okay. You want to question the identity of the Malays here, is it?
No, this is because the old time. I mean the old time they don't have this blocking.
But Nyonya also is, again, we established it's in Singapore as well, right? At that time, in Singapore itself is like Malay does not necessarily mean Muslim lah.
Yes. Because the old time they don't have any religions religions block the. We are okay. You are.
But talking about the religion, right? Peranakan religion is there a religion in Peranakan or is it just a?
They don't have any. Actually, I don't know.
Because I see in the show in the show itself, they still follow like the Chinese kind of like tradition of praying and everything.
They're praying because
it's an ancestor thing.
Ancestor is not the religion. Ancestor actually is you pray for your parents or that.
But the method of the praying is very Chinese style of praying, if I'm not mistaken.
It's a Chinese style of praying.
But that's not considered a religion, is it?
Not religions. If you want to put in the religion, is some like the Christian, do not go to the. We call it the not chopstick, the
jaws.
The jaws. They're not go to take the one. If let's say you are a Christian,
then they just do like this.
Just pray, just pray and then just bow. No, cannot take that one.
It's not really I guess it's not really a praying of like any specific god in that sense, is it?
But that one is your.
But they still do the tradition of burning the money and all the.
No, not burning money. That's why the burning stuff. That one is one religion, considered as a religion.
But is that part of
for grandparents? No.
So in the original Peranakan, there's not really a religion there, is it?
Not a religion,
I mean, we are just guessing because we are both not Peranakan. If you haven't noticed, I just find it interesting that you start talking about religion, right? And then you say it's like, wow, it's because of the establishment of religion nowadays make it less of the Peranakan culture because Peranakan culture is Chinese marrying Malay women, Chinese guy marrying Malay women in that sense, right? But again, I question like who continues the culture in that sense. If it's the women of the Peranakan marries to a Malay guy, or married to other guy outside their family, is it, will the women continue their culture, or is it the son of the Peranakan will have to continue the culture in that sense?
I have no idea, sir, bro.
I mean, of course we don't know but I just want to know your opinion. It's like, oh, would it be the man
I
or
think
will it be the woman?
I guessing this one I guess it's the men who are carries the cultures who are carry the traditionals.
But funny because like in the show I saw it's the women that's really taking care of the culture there. Which is why I thought, Nyonya is more like women driven society. Because it's like the mother, the grandmother there, she always say like, oh, you must wear your kebaya, you must learn how to sew, you need to learn how to cook as a nyonya, then only you can find a good husband like that. And like, wow. Last time nyonya is quite the strict like that.
Actually, the nyonya, the mindset for women's it's more like the Chinese. Also, is similar with the Chinese old day Chinese, not nowadays.
Of course,
the old day Chinese, the
very
traditional,
strict, very
traditional thinking.
Like you cannot pantang or you cannot do this kind of thing because it affect who you are as a woman. But again, it's like you need to wear the specific kebaya to showcase the tradition like that one. But I don't know, today I don't think it's as strict. I of course it's not as strict as before. But in that sense, like again, culture of the nyonya is not as strong as last time. Even though the only thing I think is more common about nyonya culture is just the food.
The food. And I think they will protect the building in Malacca and Penang also. Because the building means the building and all that if let's say for houses the Peranakan houses it's very like the mixture cultures are very nice one.
The design is very unique, right?
Very unique.
I mean, outside of those three areas, the Malacca, Penang, Singapore, is Nyonya culture not as strong? Do you not see any like Malacca, Nyonya influences outside of those areas? Like for me, I don't see in KL as much. I don't know if
KL not really.
Because it's purely in that area there,
Malacca,
right? They never really migrated outside of that, is it?
No. I really don't know. I really don't know. No ideas.
Okay lah. To come back to that culture of Nyonya itself. I mean, other than Nyonya culture, is there any other culture in Malaysia that you feel like is dying as well? Because to me, right, when I saw the show, it's like I realized how much we don't know about Nyonya culture anymore. I also didn't know last time Nyonya culture had pork dishes, and I also didn't know that Nyonya culture is like that mixture of family or race lah. Because I thought Nyonya culture is just Chinese people who came from China and live in Malaysia. Then they adopted Malay culture. That's it.
Actually, this is a very quite. I think Peranakan is very, very like a very important culture in Malaysia also. So one of the heritage lah. Actually, it's one of heritage for Malaysia. It's some kind of like, okay, and you know, I don't know. Just now I also mentioned that the Kelantan we got this. We called it wayang kulit. The wayang kulit actually is from Bali. I don't know the Balinese wayang kulit. Javanese. But they are actually now also the wayang kulit also dying. Not many people know it's wayang kulit. Actually, wayang kulit they are doing the we call it puppet show movie. No, it's
puppet show lah.
Actually shows So they are actually also put some of the Chinese element inside the Chinese stories or Malay stories we don't know.
This is like the different way of like cultural sharing last time, right?
Cultural sharing.
But again, I think for wayang kulit itself, right? Isn't it because that people just are not interested by that form of entertainment anymore? Like, and there's like no one to continue the culture of wayang kulit in that sense.
Because the Kelantanese, we call it Kelantanese, actually they are also quite. It's not really purely Malay. They also will be mixed some with Siam people. They will mix some with the Thai people. They are considered is not purely is a Malay people. So they have their own culture. It's some kind of like Peranakan. Some kind like Peranakan.
But that is also lesser known, if I'm not mistaken. Like this, like Siam or Thai mixture in the Malay. Maybe I'm not aware, lah. But like their culture is not as prominent in that sense, like as Nyonya culture in Malaysia. Like what other like cultural things that you can think of when you think of like from the Kelantan area that has that influences of Thai or Siam culture there? I don't know, lah. To me, when I think Kelantan, it's just purely Malay.
Kelantan actually is not pure, what I'm thinking lah. No, it's not purely Malay because they have some mixtures. The Kelantan is also a mixture. From Siam, there maybe got some Thai, the traditional Thai cultures inside. So it's same as like the Peranakan. Because of this group of people, it's very small group of people. People are not aware. But for Malaysia, this is very like a heritage because the history. This group of people. These two group of people actually is a heritage for Malaysia.
But okay, so then I ask you the question. This could be a very dangerous question, lah. You think it's because of a certain religion that a lot of this culture are not being slowly disappearing?
I think
it's because I do think that a lot of us in Malaysia assume that religion equals culture. Like people just assume that a religion is the culture of a specific race. When religion, I don't think necessarily represent culture. Religion is just faith and belief. It can be mixed with culture, but it's not the only thing about the society that defines a culture. A country like Malaysia, we have different culture that's not tied to religion. Like Nyonya culture, like you said, the Siam and all this, is not related to religion in a sense. It's more about traditional adats or like traditional behaviors that they follow through from past to until now, and that infuse things with like food, clothing, and everything. But because of certain religion, it's becoming less encouraged.
I can say use now a word we call crossover.
Crossover. Wow, very exciting word. Crossover. Got this fusion.
Fusions. We call it crossover nowadays. We are Adidas crossover,
Nike.
This kind of thing.
This one cannot cross one. What is the thing? Like, do you feel like religion has become too strong of a presence that it affects or it makes certain culture disappear?
I believe the religion is one of the major issues to not say stop, make the things slower, the cultures cross over slower.
I think I need to apologize a bit because the wording is misleading a bit, because when I say religion, I probably should be clear. It's not that the religion itself is a problem. It's the people who uses religion as a tool to push this kind of narrative. So let me rephrase it. Religion is not the problem, okay? Whatever your belief is, it shouldn't be an issue. The problem is when the people push the fact that religion has to be the culture. That's when I see other cultures being reduced less or less prominence or not being continued lah. Because then we'll say like, oh, this culture is go against my belief, so you shouldn't do it.
Okay, actually we have one mirrors lah. We're using it as this Singapore. Singapore actually is we are not talk about any religions in Singapore. We don't have any religion in Singapore. If let's say you are living in Singapore, if you have your own religion, it doesn't matter. But come to like you married, we not say we have to follow the
certain religion or something like that.
Yes, but even of course in Singapore, so you can see even the culture also disappear. Not really, it will happen in Singapore. You say, oh, but Peranakan culture will be very good in Singapore. Not really what. It's some kind of like nowadays the people maybe they don't care about Peranakan. I don't know. Not so care about this thing anymore.
So it's not really about the religion. It's more just the people itself that.
Yeah, maybe nowadays the people
culture
is different. They are also don't. This one is very old mindset, old people, old thinking.
It's sign of the times, if you say like that, right?
But for now, of course, you can see nowadays the mixtures. like Chinese to Indian, Chindians, like this kind of mixture. Yes, we happen. Yes, it be happen. But we are not Peranakan anymore, but Chindians and maybe it's a Malay or Chinese, that will become a different things. We are going to the crossover. But old time we have a crossover, but today we also got this crossover.
Uh, in that sense, right, when crossover happen, in your personal,
Mm-mm.
we want to go back. I want to go back to the cultural aspect of this. Like, where for you, would you continue whatever cultural things that you learned in the past to pass down to your children?
Of course, like okay, for me it's very important of the culture, especially I'm the one who are speaking in Cantonese. Yeah, I because of the Cantonese is like, oh, a lot of people is speaking Mandarin, and then the next generation is not speaking in the Cantonese in the dialect. It's very like
Dying culture.
dying culture, because Cantonese and Mandarin is very different culture also. For my thinking is so we have to keep our like, okay, no matter how my next generation, you have to speak Cantonese. They know about what is called Cantonese people.
But that's the thing. Is like you want this tradition to continue, but like you feel like younger generation will be like, why I want to bother learning this kind of thing? Is
Yeah,
it?
lor.
But then again, look at yourself when you were younger. Did you had that same mentality when your parents want to teach you something, and then you say, why I want to learn this thing? Go or not?
Yeah, same also.
It's not the thing, because I would say also like when I was younger.
But you after you grow
also,
older,
then you learn to respect the.
you know you are the one who are special, because you are I'm Chinese and Cantonese. I'm the special because of this, and then different with other people. I'm not saying I want to what you call that, to split it out from other, because we have this one. This is our values.
You have to proud your identity there.
Yes, to proud of it.
But I mean, okay, I understand the proud of identity, but I don't want it to come at the point of like, excluding people. The idea of the culture is that you want to share and bring in people as much as possible without having to say that, I believe in this culture, so that culture must be wrong kind of thing. I don't think that's a...
Okay, actually this one I want to put to China mainland to come to Hong Kong also. Because the China mainland, they are trying to hapus Cantonese.
Come back, are you?
They are trying to try to hapus Cantonese in Hong Kong. What? The same thing also. They want to like...
There is the
make
China...
all the people that speak the Chinese is called 普通话. 普通话 is a normal language. It's all the people who speak the Chinese, the Mandarin. We call it Mandarin in
But
so
that's a form of nationalism.
yes, but in Hong Kong, they have their own culture because they are from British. They have this called Yue, which means the Cantonese. The Cantonese word is called Yue lah. So they have this kind of culture. It's very different from the China mainland, especially from the northern people.
Okay, so
how come they want to like, oh, we are the same? Actually, different.
So okay, you bought a very dangerous thing here, because you say, oh, China coming in and then monopolizing or like nationalizing the language to become, even country like Hong Kong has their own language. China come in and enforce the idea of that they need to speak Mandarin because one China right? One language.
Just now you mentioned Hong Kong is a country. Actually, Hong Kong is not a country. Hong
Kong is a state
below the one of the, but they will call it what there is a special, what you call it? I don't know in English. There's a special governments it's a different governments in
it seems like if I were to say Taiwan is a country, but actually Taiwan is a China, also part of China, right?
Part of China, but
there
was a different story.
But in the language, first thing first, the language thing, because I think this is a very interesting topic, because you say, oh, China is enforcing this language, China language there lah. And correct me if I'm wrong, you feel like that's a very not good thing lah to enforce
disrespect
lah.
The same come to Malaysia also. So if let's say I'm the small group people, you want to hapus me, not say hapus lah, the value, the people who are slowly not so in, if let's say I'm Peranakan, I'm the people so slowly with the culture.
So then would you be against Malaysia enforcing Bahasa Malaysia as a national language?
I'm not. I'm saying Bahasa Malaysia is a national language. Is okay, what?
But then that's the same thing as China saying like, the countries that are, or the states that are within China should speak Mandarin is a similar thing, isn't it?
No, different. Okay, you see Hong Kong.
Mm.
Hong Kong before they have this we call it a special district. They have this special district in 100 years. They have the governed by Hong Kong people.
Mm.
This is the way they are already mentioned after they are come back to China mainland.
Mm.
But how come haven't 50 years? Already 50 years. 1997 until now is already 50 years. I haven't 50 years. 50. They are already come to like more China. Yeah, want to like hapus this Cantonese.
So you don't think that a similar thing is happening with Malaysia in terms of like enforcing?
No, actually I don't want to talk about this topic. Actually, a lot of
What's your problem is it? But I mean, okay, that is a culture thing, and I will give it to you in that sense that China is not good in enforcing or at least keeping certain cultures alive, like Uyghur culture. Also, they try to minimize it, and it's not a good thing. Similarly with Hong Kong and all this, the Cantonese culture lah. But like,
okay,
that China thing.
but no matter how lah.
But if we come back to Malaysia,
come to governments, whatever in Malaysia or China, we have to. This actually is the culture, is a heritage for all the people is here is a heritage. Even the Peranakan or Wayang Kulit or Kelantanese or Cantonese or Hong Kong Cantonese, everything this one is because the people here we have the cultures. If let's say the hapus to this kind of people, or not say hapus lah, the hilangans lah,
lose it
lah. Okay. Also, it's not very like the I am give us examples because the garden is called a lot of coloring flowers, so they make the garden beautiful. So if let's say the garden without the yellow color, without the red color, only the green color, is not look nice. This one.
I mean, it can look nice, but it doesn't look as
so colorful or what?
Colorful, lor. But for some people, maybe they prefer just all green.
Okay.
Then, then how? You see, some culture, they only want certain color only. So there's some people have different mentality or some people have different thinking. But for me as a Malaysian and living in Malaysia, I think one of our best qualities and our best beautiful thing is that we have that mixture of color.
Yes. Yeah.
And then maintaining that mixture of color is something that should be continued lah. Especially after I seen something like the show lah, and I seen the Nyonya culture, how colorful, how vibrant, how actually impactful it is to our Malaysian culture. It's a shame if it doesn't continue lah. Like a lot of the dressings lah, a lot of the designs lah, especially the food. Of course, the food continue lah, but we don't understand and appreciate where it's coming from, which is something that's something is lacking lor. And I don't know, like in Malaysia, whether or not the younger generation still believe or still have that passion to continue that kind of culture lah. Because for me, I think for both of us, we are too old already.
No, the culture actually is from the daily basis, our daily life. Now we are creating the culture. Is it like come to ASAP? This one also is a part of a culture.
Language culture there. It's evolving lah.
Yes.
It's constantly changing lah. But as much as things change, I think things will come back around lah. Because again, for me, finally coming back to understanding Nyonya culture and appreciating what is Nyonya culture, it's made me want to search more the Nyonya food and actually taste the actual Nyonya foods there lor. And then maybe try to visit some of these Nyonya cultural places and really experience that kind of like culture there.
If let's say for Malaysia's governments, we should protect Peranakan and then protect the cultures lah, the houses, everything we keep is like a heritage. It's like Penang, and then
the UNESCO, the culture thing.
Especially actually the Wayang Kulit, they will lack of the work lah. Because Wayang Kulit, the things like they will be not so aware. Actually, Peranakan they are aware. The governments are aware.
Are trying their
Yeah,
to
but for wayang kulit it's lesser lah.
I mean that, and I'm sure there's a lot more cultures that requires focus and effort and continue people to promote it and keep it alive lah. In that sense, like for you guys watching, what are the cultures that you feel like in Malaysia that's slowly dying out or not don't have as much prominence as it used to be lah? Again, I think it's one of the things about Malaysia that's quite amazing that we have all these sorts of different culture.
Yes, Malaysia actually is the place
We call it the melting pot.
a melting pot. Yes, true. This word is
This is the best word to say. Melting pot. We have so many different cultures from Malay, Chinese, Indian,
yes.
and then the mixture of those cultures that develop their own culture as well. There's so many things, and
We are the water
water there mixed there.
mixed there.
But there's so many culture there. And hopefully, it still continues on, even when we're long gone lah, in that sense. But again, thank you guys for watching this episode. It's a nice like slow talk about Malaysian culture, and hopefully maybe one of these
Maybe someone is quite interested. Someone is interested in talking about this topic. Maybe you guys can join us for the talking.
Yes, as always, if you enjoy what we do, please share, like, subscribe, comment, and all that good stuff. And as Ah Kit said, if you're someone who's passionate about sharing all this kind of stuff, please reach out to us at tehtarihour@gmail.com. We would love to talk to you guys about all kinds of stuff, even like Malaysian culture and then things that Malaysians are not aware of in terms of like cultural aspect. And as always, thank you for listening, and we hope to see you guys on the next episode. Until then, goodbye.